Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to check out a really fast-paced game called the 10-20 Challenge. It's designed to make decimal practice, actually exciting and engaging for your students. So if you're looking for a way to get your kids fired up about math, seriously, this is it. And let me tell you, this is not just another worksheet. The 10-20 Challenge is built to get students thinking on their feet, building that fluency with decimals, and this is the big one, actually talking about their math strategies. The whole idea here is to turn practice into play.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the big idea behind it all, then we'll walk step by step through how to play. After that, I've got some great tips for using it in your classroom. We'll see a quick demo, and then we'll wrap up with how you can get started.
All right, so first things first, let's get into the rules. And you'll see just how simple this is to set up. Seriously, you can get a game going in just a couple of minutes. Okay, first up, what do you actually need to play? Well, the best part is you probably have all this stuff in your classroom right now. All you need is a standard deck of cards, a stopwatch, your phone is perfect for this, and a simple little worksheet for each player to track their points. Okay, now here's where things get really interesting. The card values. So aces are worth 1, and the cards 2 through 9 are just their normal face value. And this is the strategic twist, all the face cards and the 10s are worth 0. Yeah, 0. This gives students this really powerful tool to control their sums and differences. The gameplay itself is super fast and really strategic. So you lay all the cards out face up, then you start a 10-second timer and the players just scramble to pick their 6 cards. That little 10-second window is so key. It keeps the energy way up and forces them to use quick estimation and number sense instead of just, slowly calculating everything. So let's talk about scoring. What I love about this system is that you get a point for almost any correct answer, which really keeps the motivation high for everyone. But the real prize, the 2-pointer, is for hitting exactly 10 or 20. So the goal isn't just to be right, it's about being precise and strategic with your numbers. Okay, so you get the rules, but how can you actually use this in your classroom? Let's look at a few practical ideas that show just how versatile this game is. This game is just so flexible. It works perfectly as a math center or as a partner station activity. You could even use it as a quick timed warm-up for the whole class just to get their brains and their energy going. Oh, and plus, since students are checking each other's work, it builds in that accountability piece naturally. And it's super easy to adapt the game for different learners. For students who might need a little more support, you can just get rid of the timer or maybe start with whole numbers. And for those who are ready for a bigger challenge, you can have them estimate their answers first or even introduce new rules, like a subtract-only round.
Okay, so now let's see how this all comes together in practice, because the real power of this game isn't just in the number crunching, it's in the conversation. So let's listen in on what some authentic math talk might sound like.
So just picture this. You've got 2 students, we'll call them Student A and Student B, working at a station. The cards are all spread out on the table. The timer starts. Ready, set, go. And they've got just 10 seconds to grab their cards. Okay, Student A has their 6 cards. The timer is off, and now the real strategic thinking begins. They have to figure out how to arrange those cards into 2 3-digit decimals, and then decide if adding or subtracting is going to get them closer to those target numbers 10 or 20. So Student A arranges their cards, does the addition, and then they confidently state their answer and their score. The math checks out, and they record 1 point. Simple as that. Okay, now here comes that really important accountability step. See, Student B isn't just sitting there waiting for their turn. They're actively engaged, checking their partner's work. This is huge because it reinforces the skill for both of them at the same time. And this is where the magic really happens. Student B uses one of those math talk starters to ask a strategic question. They're moving past just checking the answer, and they're digging into the why behind the decision. This is the kind of conversation that really deepens their understanding. Getting to that conversation, that's the ultimate goal, right? So let's talk about how you can intentionally encourage that same kind of deep mathematical thinking in your own classroom.
One really powerful and honestly simple tool for this is using math talk sentence starters. They're exactly what they sound like. Just short, open-ended prompts you can give your students to help guide them toward more meaningful, math-focused conversations. See, prompts like these really encourage students to explain their strategies and justify their choices. It completely shifts the focus from just getting the right answer to understanding the process. And we all know that's where the real learning happens.
So the takeaway here is pretty clear, right? The 10-20 challenge is so much more than just a game. It's really proof that math practice can be energetic, it can be strategic, and it can be really, really communicative. It turns a simple deck of cards into this dynamic tool for building number sense. So I guess the only question left is, what are your students going to discover when you bring this to your classroom?